There is a group of people who were marked before they were born. They carry a light that the world cannot extinguish. They live in the midst of ordinary life, but carry a frequency that belongs to heaven. If you have ever felt different, have ever felt your soul react strongly to falsehood, have ever felt a mission beyond what is seen with the naked eye, then this is the message for you. Some words are only for souls who have entered the journey of awakening. Some messages can only reach those who have been marked since before birth. Look at the palm of your hand where the lines intersect if you see the letter M or the crescent moon, whether clear or faint. That is the sacred mark placed in the palm of the chosen one. And right now, if your heart feels something is opening, then you are standing before a sacred calling. There are people who have always felt different. They walk through life with a deep intuition that they were born for a greater purpose. This feeling does not come from a book or from someone else. It comes from within, from a point where the soul and the will of God meet. Many have felt it since childhood. They observe, are quiet, and feel more deeply than their peers. They see what others miss. They are easily moved, easily recognize the truth behind a smile or a look. They clearly feel that they do not fit into this world the way others do. The Bible establishes one thing: God chooses some people to fulfill a special mission. These people are set apart, not by human standards, but by a plan from heaven. They are placed in the world with very specific marks. They have an aura that cannot be faked. They possess a look that moves the soul. You were prepared very early. Every experience in your life, every seemingly random moment, is in the hands of a greater hand. Every sign is connected. Every wound is used to lead to divine awareness. The chosen one carries special signs. They are present in the way you see the world, in the way you stand quietly alone, but still hold the light. Those signs form a spiritual map that leads you back to your divine origin. On this journey, I will explore with you 7 signs that have been engraved in you since before you knew who you were. If one sign touches you, listen. If many signs resonate at the same time, be ready. And here's a question for you. When you discover that you carry one or all of these divine signs, through what eyes will you look at life? If what you have just heard resonates with the deepest part of your soul, then this is a confirmation. You carry the sign, you are chosen, and you are not alone in this journey. Let this video be a wake-up call by liking to acknowledge that you have received the message. Subscribe to the channel to join those on the same frequency, those awakening all over the world. And in the comments, write a clear statement of faith. Just one line: I am chosen. Your journey begins here, with an affirmation, with an action, and with a determination to live in the light you carry. One of the most obvious signs of a chosen one is a sudden change in relationships. There are people who used to be a constant presence in your life, then suddenly distance themselves or silently withdraw. They used to share, used to be close, used to appear every day. Then at some point they quietly disappear, no longer interact, no longer maintain connection. You still live kindly, still maintain honesty, still give sincerity. You do not change your personality, nor create any reason for them to turn their backs. However, distance is created, indifference is formed, and the atmosphere between the two of you turns into silence. The silence contains something deeper, a kind of invisible movement from the spiritual level. The chosen one always carries a very clear light. That light radiates from the marked soul. It does not come from communication skills, nor from appearance. It comes from a pure energy, a presence that causes the other soul to look into itself. When you appear in a room, the atmosphere changes. When you enter a conversation, the fake becomes fragile. When you listen, the false becomes clear. The light you bring reveals the true nature. Those who live with sincerity feel light when they are near you. Those who harbor lies, jealousy, or wrong motives, they feel heavy, worried, insecure. They choose to leave. They choose to be silent. They choose to distance themselves from you because your presence creates an inner conflict that they are not ready to bear. Jesus experienced this too. In John 8:44, he said bluntly, "You are of your father the devil, and you want to do the desires of your father." The Pharisees hated him because he shone a light on the hypocrisy in which they lived. They cannot continue to live a false life in front of a real person, and that is what you carry within you. Some people, before they leave you, leave a scar. They twist your words, sow division, weave false stories. They use words as the last stab. This is how darkness struggles when it has no place to hide. When the light spreads, the darkness is disturbed. When the truth is revealed, the masks fall. You do not need to correct what they left. You do not need to remove each rumor. The light does not justify itself. It just continues to shine. You are carrying a living testimony to the presence of God. The withdrawal of the toxic spirits is the arrangement. It is the way heaven keeps your steps steady. It is the invisible barrier that prevents noise from disrupting the flow of the soul. You carry the light spreading, everything that is not real will disappear. What is left next to you is real. Those who stay are those who are willing to accompany you on the most sacred part of the journey. One of the divine gifts that God gives to the chosen ones is the ability to feel beyond the limits of reason. There is always a deeper level of awareness within you, where the soul speaks directly to the heavens. You don't need concrete evidence to know something is coming. You just need to be quiet and your soul speaks. There are times when you walk into a room and feel the energy is off, even though the atmosphere outside is peaceful. People are still laughing, still communicating as usual, but inside you there is a very clear feeling something is off. Your intuition is always ahead of the curve. You feel the lies behind the sweet words. You recognize the true motives in the eyes of the person you are talking to. You know something is going to happen, even if no one has seen the signs yet. This is a kind of ability that does not come from school or life experience. In theology, this gift is called spiritual discernment. It is an inner channel that is directly connected to the Holy Spirit. Every time you listen to that feeling, you enter the flow of heavenly guidance. Every time you follow the promptings from the depths of your soul, you avoid the dangers that others are carelessly walking into. The chosen ones do not see with their eyes, they see with their souls. They do not just see things or events, they feel the essence of what is present. They read the atmosphere. They decipher the energy in silence. And this gift is not possessed by everyone. In the Bible, Joseph is a clear example. God gave him prophetic dreams, visions that revealed the future of an entire nation. But when he shared them, he was not received with faith. His brothers said, "Here comes this dreamer." Genesis 37:19. They mocked him, they hated him, they rejected him, but in the end what he saw became true. Many of the chosen ones have gone through similar experiences. They sense, they speak, they warn, but their words are ignored. Then one day when things happen exactly as they sensed, people turn around. But the chosen ones don't need recognition. They just need to be faithful to the truth their souls have received. In everyday life, you can walk into a room and see the false energy. You look at a person and realize they have a different agenda, even if they haven't shown it yet. You feel a lingering unease before an event. You try to tell someone that something is coming, but they are not ready to hear. That ability to sense is a warning system from God. When you are given this gift, you are not just protected, you are given a mission. You are in the middle of time, sensing ahead to lead the way. You do not live as an ordinary person, you live as a gatekeeper. One who has been given the key to a safe passage for yourself and for those around you. Be grateful for the gift that lives within you. It is a clear indication that you are being guided from a higher plane. And when you follow that guidance, you do not stray. You live as a marked person, a person who sees with the eyes of the soul. The chosen one carries a presence that causes the spirit world to react. It is a kind of calm, yet sharp aura. A light that comes from the core, and that light always creates movement. You live kindly, keep peace, act with integrity. But wherever you go, you attract attention. Some people admire you, some people seek you for enlightenment, but others are confused by your presence. They create friction. They look at you with wary eyes. They react to you as if you have threatened something deep within them, even though you have not said it. The truth is, the light you carry is affecting the darkness within them. Not because you are aggressive, but because you are real. And when the truth appears, all falsehood has no place to hide. People used to living with masks find it difficult to breathe in the presence of someone who carries clarity. Souls not ready to face themselves find it uncomfortable to be exposed to your light. And that is why they reacted. In the Bible, Daniel is the archetype of a light bearer amidst the darkness of power. He lived in a political environment full of deceit, yet remained faithful to God. The rulers of his time could not find any weakness in him. They examined his life, and the Bible says clearly, they found no fault in him, for he was faithful. Daniel 6:4. Yet it was precisely because he was faithful, precisely because he was unlike them, that he became a threat. And they plotted to put him in the lion's den, not because he did anything wrong, but because he embodied what darkness could not manipulate. The chosen ones often find themselves in similar situations. They do not start wars, yet they are placed on the front lines. They live truthfully, yet they are misrepresented. They offer kindness, yet they are doubted. Every simple act is analyzed through a biased lens. Every gentle word is twisted to serve base schemes. But the chosen do not fight back with the weapons of the world. They do not use schemes to meet schemes. They hold fast to their faith. They stand still in the light. And it is that silence that creates space for miracles to occur. Daniel did not shout. He did not plead. He prayed. He stood upright in the lion's den. And it was in the most dangerous place that God revealed his greatest glory. The lions were silent. The darkness was muzzled, and the light triumphed. So when you face opposition without reason, when you become the target of the absurd, remember that your soul is shining, and that light is stirring up the darkness all around. Stand your ground, keep your faith, stay faithful. For in the very place of confrontation, God will plead, and your holiness will speak for itself. From a very young age, you sensed something about you that was different from everyone else. You entered the world with a subtle sense of touch, with a deep intuition, and with a soul that was not in tune with the general rhythm of the world. Whether you stood in a crowded classroom, whether you grew up in a family, whether you participated in groups, your mind often stepped out, observing life as if it were happening in another dimension. You listened, you laughed, you talked. But deep down, you always knew that there was something about you that was different from everyone else. That feeling did not come from social alienation, but from a deeper vibration of your soul. You carried a wave that was incompatible with superficial things. You yearned for the real, the profound, the sacred. And when the world did not meet those needs, your soul kept its distance, not out of self-defense, but out of preparation. In his letter to the Philippians, the Apostle Paul wrote, "But our citizenship is in heaven." Philippians 3:20. This is not just about heaven as a final destination, but also about where your soul truly belongs. The chosen ones did not come to make a home on earth. They came to carry out a mission. And the feeling of not belonging is a clear signal. You are remembering where you came from, and you are being led back to your original purpose. Moses is a powerful example of this. He grew up in an Egyptian palace, enjoying all the privileges of a prince. He lived among gold, fame, and power. But there was always another calling within him, a calling that did not lie in the power of Egypt, but in the suffering of God's people. He chose to step out of his comfort zone and embark on a lonely but right journey. The letter to the Hebrews says, Moses chose suffering with God's people, rather than to enjoy the temporary pleasures of sin. Hebrews 11:24-25. He was not pushed out, he left. Because he knew where he belonged, not in a palace, but where the mission was. Every time you feel like you don't fit in with a group, an organization, a system, recognize that as a signal. There is a hand guiding you. There is a design that is pulling you out of something small to train you for something bigger. Every time you leave a place, end a relationship, change your environment, your soul is being purified, not to give up, but to enter a new level. You were created to be different. That difference is not to hide in a corner. That difference is a beacon. The chosen one does not live to fit in with the crowd. They live to lead other souls out of meaningless repetition. The light within you is never in vain. It was placed in you to spread. Look back. How many times have you been pushed away from where you wanted to be? How many times have you been saved from what you thought was good? All of it carries the same message. You did not come to belong to the world. You came to remind the world that they once belonged to the light. There are moments so simple, yet so profound, that they contain a confirmation from the Spirit. child suddenly turns around in the crowd and stares at you, then smiles. A strange baby asks to be held by you, even though no one else can comfort it. A dog that is wary of everyone else but wags its tail and walks over to you, lies down and dozes at your feet. A cat that usually avoids strangers, but climbs onto a chair and leans against you as if it has known you for a long time. That is a spiritual response. Those are signs that only appear in people who carry a presence beyond words. Children and animals possess pure souls. They have not been shaped by society, have not been blinded by human stereotypes. Inside them, the communication line with the heavens is still fully open. They feel energy, they read frequency, and they respond immediately to what is pure, like an instinct to return to the original light. The chosen one carries a very special kind of presence. It is not noisy. It needs no explanation. It needs no introduction. Just by being there, the atmosphere changes. The hearts of pure souls recognize it first. The light you carry is not dazzling. It is warm, quiet, but very clear. Like a fire in the night, not noisy, but everyone who walks in the dark feels it. Jesus himself affirmed this. In Matthew 19:14 he said, "Let the little children come to me, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Children easily recognize the presence of heaven, because their souls are still pure. If a child smiles at you, comes close to you, or looks at you as if you were an acquaintance, it may be a voice from heaven. It is proof that you carry the aura of the kingdom of heaven. The Bible also gives us another wonderful example. The story of Balaam's donkey in Numbers 22. As Balaam was on his ambitious journey, an angel of the Lord appeared to block his path. Balaam saw nothing, but the donkey sensed it. It stopped, it dodged, it sought to avoid danger. Human reason may be blind to signals from above, but simple instinct is open to recognition. Animals do not reason, they respond to spirit. They sense safety, calmness, attraction, or danger, not through reason but through an emotional level that is connected to the spirit. When an animal chooses to come near you, when a pair of clear eyes looks at you with trust, it is confirmation that something very sacred is flowing through you. The chosen one does not need to shout out his or her identity. The chosen one does not need to compete for attention. Their very presence creates waves that reach other souls. When a child approaches you, when an animal leans against you, the spirit world is responding. Heaven is sending a whisper, "I am here in you." Each reaction is a confirmation. Each clear gaze is an invisible seal. You do not walk alone. You carry a light pure enough for the purest of souls to recognize. And the invisible world is coming closer to you through the smallest of things. God is always speaking, and when he chooses someone to entrust with a divine mission, he opens special channels of communication between heaven and earth. One of those channels is dreams. One of those forms is signs. You may have seen the numbers 111, 222, 333 at some incredibly coincidental time. You open your phone and it says 444. You are walking down the street and the license plate in front of you reads 777. You are wondering about something, and a Bible verse pops up at the exact moment you need confirmation. You plan to change direction and the door closes in an instant. Not just once, but repeatedly, clearly, regularly, like a series of signals leading you into the spiritual communication zone between you and heaven. Your dreams also have a different energy level. Some dreams are as clear as movies. You wake up with a deep feeling, as if you have really entered another world. A few days later, what you dreamed begins to happen in real life. A person appears, a situation unfolds. A scene you saw in your dream repeats itself as a divine confirmation. God has used dreams to guide his chosen people. Joseph, the son of Jacob, is a prime example. In his dream, he was bowed to by others. His visions drew a spiritual map of the future of the nation. He foresaw a preparation for a great role. Each dream was a link in God's plan for the nation of Israel. Daniel was also gifted with the ability to decipher divine messages. He saw visions that were beyond his time. He listened in silence, and from the spirit world, he read things that no one could explain. His ability to change the fate of kings and nations. The three wise men in Matthew are a clear example of God using dreams to act promptly. They received a warning in a dream not to return to King Herod. Thanks to that guidance, the baby Jesus was kept safe, and the plan of salvation was preserved. That dream came to the right person at the right time, with an impact that transcended the individual, because it was directly connected to the will of God. God is still speaking, not just through the words of the Bible, not just in prayer, but in the little things you think you are. A look, a song, someone appearing at the right time, a message that comes right after you have prayed. These things connect together as clear signs that you are living under special guidance from heaven. Chosen souls often hear it sooner, more clearly, because their inner frequency is tuned to receive it. They don't need to wait for a voice from above. They just feel a slight movement in their heart, and they know God is speaking. Whenever you see a special coincidence, silently say, "Lord, is this from you?" It is a portal that opens a channel of communication with the divine. When you ask a question, you establish a relationship. When you stop to listen, you enter a sacred space. And when you recognize the meaning of the sign, you are no longer walking in confusion. You are walking in guidance. God is still speaking, and you are listening. There is a power that is invisible but ever-present, the energy of prayer. And when the chosen one prays, the entire invisible realm begins to move in a divine order. Every time you kneel, bow your head, or even just close your eyes in silence, the atmosphere around you changes. The frequency in space begins to vibrate with the pulse of your soul. The thing you ask for may not come immediately, but you always feel something being released. The burden is lighter. The mind is clearer. Your intuition tells you that a new door is about to open. It is a clear sign that your words are not floating away. They are rising up to heaven. Elijah, the mighty prophet of God, once prayed so hard that the heavens and the earth were shut up. For 3 years, not a drop of rain fell on the land. And it was he, through another prayer, who caused the heavens to part and rain again on the barren fields. His words moved not only the hearts of men, but also nature. For he was not praying alone. He was connecting directly with the will of God. Peter, Paul, and Silas are also living proof of the supernatural power of prayer. In the darkness of the prison cell, they sang praises and prayed with all their faith. And then, the chains fell off. The prison doors opened. No human hand intervened. It was the power of heaven that acted, responding to the call of souls intimately connected to the Most High. The elect prayed as if they were communicating directly with heaven. They did not speak to be heard. They proclaimed so that the will of God might be done. They do not repeat lifeless words. They speak living words of spiritual frequency, and those words become commandments in the invisible realm. God hears prayers that come from deep faith. A whisper from a trusting soul can shake the kingdom of darkness. A call from the heart connected to heaven can awaken even the dormant things in the spirit of others. God is not attracted by volume. He listens to the true frequency of a faithful heart. So ask yourself, what are you using that power of prayer for? You were not chosen to pray for yourself alone. You were sent to pray for your family, your clan, your community, your nation. You were given a spiritual power not to be kept silent, but to act as an intermediary between heaven and earth. You are not just talking to God, you are summoning heaven to earth. Every time you pray, you are drawing spiritual power down into reality. Every time you offer a word, you are changing destiny. Keep praying in faith. The 7 signs you have heard are evidence of a divine revelation. They mark a soul set apart, a person touched among men, a light placed by God in the right time and place for the greater plan. You wear them to identify your true identity. Every lucid dream, every prayer that moves the energy around you, every child or animal that responds strongly to your presence, all are evidence. And no evidence is given in vain. The difference in your life is confirmation. From childhood to the present, you have felt a strange rhythm in your soul, a sense that you have always known that you were called to something greater. Now the signs have come to confirm that truth. You are in the world, but your mind and soul are not of the world's system. You carry the standard from the kingdom of heaven, where everything is driven by light, truth, and mission. Recognizing the signs is the first step. Once your soul is open to receive, the next question is, what will you do with what you have received? God does not call the unknown, He calls the ready. And readiness is always demonstrated through action, through declaration, through real steps on the spiritual path. I invite you to enter into a simple but powerful ritual. an action that is recognized both in heaven and on earth. Declare, I bear the signs of the chosen one. When you say this with all your heart, you are affirming to the spirit world that you have recognized your true identity. You are not speaking for humans, you are speaking for heaven to respond. You are speaking for the sky to send the next signal. You are speaking to establish a new beginning, clear, strong, intentional. Every step from this day forward is no longer a step of instinct. It is a step of a mission. It is a journey of a soul operating according to the plan of God. There is no delay in the divine will. As soon as you acknowledge it, the energy levels around you begin to shift. Opportunities begin to align. Spiritual connections begin to come. You are the light. You are the call. You are the one whose name is written into the sacred history that is unfolding right now. Each day that follows is a new chapter, written with the firmness of your will, the steadfastness of your faith, and the love that comes from your Creator. Step into your true role. Live with the stability that comes from spiritual understanding. And remember, the heavens do not choose wrong people. The light has been placed in you, and you are the answer.